Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken is a Japanese manga series, created by writer and illustrator Sumito Awara, which was adapted into an anime series by Science Saru in the winter 2020 season. The series follows a group of 3 high school girls who attempt to make anime together, forming the Eizouken, or Motion Pictures Club, at their school in order to do so. Midori Asakusa is one of the series' protagonists. She is an excitable, dedicated, yet awkward young woman, and over the course of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, she demonstrates many classic signs and symptoms of autism. This video will present and analyze the autistic traits that Asakusa exhibits over the course of the series. One of Asakusa's most apparent and defining characteristics is her obsession with anime. Asakusa shows a fascination with anime above anything else, and seemingly has little in the ways of interests or hobbies outside of anime. Anime defines all aspects of her life, and Asakusa takes no issue with this fact. Anime seems to be Asakusa's special or specific interest, an extremely common quirk among autistic people. Specific interests are objects, activities, or ideas that autistic individuals latch onto early in their lives. This can include music, electronics, or media such as film, television, or gaming. In Asakusa's case, anime appears to be her specific interest, as the vast majority of the activities or discussions she partakes in relate to anime. Of note, Asakusa also demonstrates the idea that autistic people tend to develop a high degree of skill or knowledge in whatever their specific interest pertains to. In Asakusa's case, she showcases a high degree of skill in animation and drawing complex backgrounds, which would be considered unusual for a girl her age. Asakusa's specific interest led her to practice drawing extensively for most of her life, which in turn led to the high amount of skill she showcases in the series. Through her love for her specific interests, Asakusa also demonstrates a lack of awareness of the interest of other people, another common trait amongst autistic individuals. In the first episode, Asakusa goes on extended rants about anime and animation, despite the lack of interest from her friend and fellow protagonist, Sayaka Kanamori. Notably, it is not that Asakusa does not care about Kanamori's interests, but rather, she doesn't fully realize that not everybody cares as strongly as she does about anime. Once Kanamori explicitly says to Asakusa that she doesn't care, Asakusa instantly deflates and stops talking. While Asakusa is comfortable enough around her friends to ramble about anime, she showcases significant difficulty in interacting with strangers over the course of the series, more so than would be expected from somebody who is simply shy or awkward. In the 4th episode, Asakusa is reduced to tears and hides behind her shirt while delivering an impassioned speech to the student council. In the 6th and 7th, she struggles to communicate with the members of the art club. In the 11th, a flashback is showcased to the beginning of Asakusa and Kanamori's friendship, where it's shown that Asakusa found Kanamori to be very intimidating and difficult to talk to at first. The difficulties Asakusa shows with communication are very consistent with issues faced by real-life autistic individuals. It's likely that Asakusa suffers from a form of mind blindness, which makes it very difficult for her to anticipate the thoughts and reactions of other people, as showcased by her aforementioned lack of awareness of other people's interest levels. This can make interacting with strangers and public speaking extremely frightening prospects, and Asakusa explicitly states in the 11th episode that she finds other people to be scary. This line of dialogue specifically is important, because at the same time, Asakusa says she finds being alone to be scary as well. It is not that Asakusa does not want friends, but rather, she finds making them to be a very difficult and frightening prospect, which is a very common sentiment amongst autistic people. In her first meeting with the art club, Asakusa demonstrates a trait she also showcases in a few other points in the series. In difficult and anxiety-inducing situations, Asakusa sometimes squeezes the plush rabbit she carries with her. This is an example of self-stimulatory behavior, or stimming. Stimming is a behavior that consists of repetitive, seemingly pointless actions that soothe anxiety by blocking out unfamiliar and unpleasant stimuli. Common examples include pacing, rocking in place, and hand flapping. Stimming is present in many developmental disorders, but it is almost universal in autism. A few of Asakusa's other personality traits can be seen as signs of autism. For one, Asakusa is extremely hyperactive, often bounding around rooms and being very hasty. Hyperactivity is a noted personality trait often exhibited by autistic people, as is childishness. Asakusa displays signs of childishness throughout the series. Her stuffed rabbit can be seen as an example, as can the light-up sneakers she wears that are specifically noted as being for kids. The biggest sign of her childishness is also one of the central draws of the series. Asakusa tends to get extremely lost in her fantasies and daydreams, which manifest in-universe as elaborate set pieces that suddenly spring to life around her and her friends. Asakusa becomes so engrossed in these fantasies that they take priority over reality, occasionally causing trouble for her, such as when she accidentally broke the railing in her club room in the second episode. While there is no clear consensus on how the imaginations of autistic individuals operate, research conducted suggests that they have explicitly different ways of imagining compared to neurotypical people. This idea would tie into Asakusa's vivid imaginary worlds that may seem odd to a neurotypical person. Overall, Asakusa demonstrates many autistic traits and symptoms over the course of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. However, this video was not made to ignore the intent of the original creator, or to suggest that it is wrong to think that Asakusa may not be autistic. Notably, author Sumito Awara has stated that Asakusa was partially based on his own experiences growing up with both autism and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, and as such, it is possible that Asakusa has one of the two, both, or neither. In any case, Asakusa has been a prime example of how fans with mental disabilities can latch onto characters who show similar traits to the ones they possess.